Popeyes is the reason this series exists, so we're not gonna be gentle. Okay, so today we're making Popeyes at home, but better. Not just the Popeye sandwich. This is their classic meal. So it's gonna come with all sorts of different things, kind of like the KFC bucket meal, but it's the Popeyes version of it. Pretty straightforward, right? We got macaroni and cheese, red beans and rice, chicken. So with all that being said, let's make this, shall we?
We're here. I like how the sign says Popeyes, and then right under it, just like two can dine. Why is this guy, what? All right, we're doing our 3-point test. This is our first time back to Popeye since we've done this. First off, building, I hate the design, but it's clean, it's tidy, 5 out of 10. Menu, because of its simplicity, 8 out of 10, but that's not for the food though. We're not gonna have to wait for the customer service. I can already tell. Can I just get a chicken with, yeah. Cool, thank you. Thank you. Well, we got the bag. I mean, it's like 20 minutes. Restaurants get busy. I get it. I just hated that experience. Good Lord. All right, so we've got the bag. Whole lot of stuff in here. This what you want? It's not that bad. Okay, the biscuits. These are like Popeye's biscuits. You seen those TikToks where people are like eating blocks of like dried cornstarch? That's what that is. All right, chicken. Is it me or is this just like low-key burnt? I like a leg, you know? I like a nice leg. The taste is all right. Skin's super chewy though. There's just not much going on. All right, red beans and rice, something that you cannot mess with. It doesn't smell bad, actually. It smells all right. Good Lord. It tastes like it wanted to be good. I definitely don't want another bite. Yuma wanted to taste these. He, for some reason, is really excited about seeing if they're good or not. So Yuma, come give these a try. All in all, this is not a justifiable expense. We can do much better, so let's do that.
We're gonna start with red beans and rice. Oh, Josh, that's not very fun. Listen, this might be one of the best spoonfuls of sweet southern goodness that you ever put in your mouth. Plus, it takes a while, so we gotta start here. So, in a large pot, and I mean big, add in 3 tablespoons or 52 grams of bacon fat or lard, set over medium heat, and once that's melted in ooh. Add in 1 yellow onion, diced, 1 green bell pepper, diced, 4 cloves of garlic, rough chopped, a little bit of salt and pepper to taste, stir and saute, and once that begins to soften, add in 1.5 tablespoons or 14 grams of your Creole seasoning of choice, 1 tablespoon or 4 grams of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons or 4 grams of cayenne, saute that just until it starts to get a little fragrant. Then add 8 cups or about 2 liters of filtered water. Follow that with 1 pound or 450 grams of red beans, followed by 2 smoked ham hocks, a bouquet garni consisting of 4 sprigs of fresh thyme and 3 sprigs of fresh sage. You tie that together with a little bit of kitchen twine, make a nice little bow, and look at that. So anyway, pop that in, followed by 2 bay leaves, bring that up to a boil, and simmer that for 3 hours. Once that's done simmering, add in 2 ribs of celery, rough chopped, and 1 pound or 450 grams of andouille sausage cut into bite-sized pieces. Bring that up to a simmer and cook for 45 to 60 more minutes. Your beans should be cooked all the way through. It should be salty, smoky, beautiful, and ready to be used. Next, we have biscuits. So first, in a food processor, add 2.5 cups or 375 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of fine sea salt, 3.5 tablespoons or 42 grams of granulated sugar, half a teaspoon or 3 grams of cream of tartar, 4 teaspoons or 22 grams of baking powder, lid on, and pulse a few times, 1.25 cup or 280 grams of unsalted cold butter. It has to be cold if you want good biscuits. That's what's gonna get you the flakes. And I'm not talking about your friend that never shows up. I'm talking about layers. And pulse until the goddamn cows come home. More specifically, until you get little pea-sized lumps of butter. Pour that into a bowl, then using a fork, mix in 1 cup or 226 grams of ice-cold buttermilk. Once that begins to form a dough, pour your scraggly-looking dough onto a work surface and gently and quickly knead until it just barely comes together. Listen, the more you touch your dough, the more you ruin your dough. See where I'm going with that? Now, dusting with flour as necessary, roll your dough out into a rough rectangle, fold it like a letter, roll it out again, fold it once more like a letter, and then roll one more time until you get a rough rectangle that's about 3/4 of an inch thick. Using a round or fluted biscuit cutter, cut out all your biscuits, place into a parchment-lined baking sheet, brush the tops of each of your biscuits with additional buttermilk lightly, and place in a hot oven set to 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 230 Celsius. Bake those bad boys for 15 to 20 minutes, and while those are baking, this is not a necessity, but hey, it's real nice. Get a small pot or pan, add in 3 tablespoons or 57 grams of honey, heat that over medium until just hot and steamy but not boiling, turn off the heat, and whisk in 1/4 cup or 56 grams of cold salted butter, not unsalted. Continuously whisk until that's beautifully emulsified and you have a salted honey butter topping. Now once your biscuits come out, they should look lovely and ready to get a nice brushing of your honey butter topping and cool in a wire rack. Next, mac and cheese. We've done this a million times, so I'll make it quick, and this one's a wee bit different. Bring a large pot of water to a boil, season generously with salt, 1 pounder, 450 grams of macaroni, and cook just until al dente, or follow the package directions. Once your macaroni's done, strain it, and then in a pot, add a 1/3 cup or 76 grams of unsalted butter. Set over medium heat, and once your butter is melted and bubbling, add in a 1/3 cup or 50 grams of all-purpose flour, whisking or stirring constantly, and let that cook for about 45 seconds to a minute. Then whisk in 1 3/4 cup or 315 milliliters of whole milk and a 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of heavy cream. Whisk that together, and look, if it starts to thicken a little too much, depending on your flour, you can always add additional milk if needed. Now, once you have a velvety, smooth, beautiful bechamel, you'll then cut off the heat and stir in 5 ounces or 141 grams of fresh grated sharp cheddar, 3 ounces or 85 grams of fresh grated Gouda, or technically it's pronounced Gouda, a little bit of salt to taste, optionally a little pinch of onion powder, and once that bad boy is as smooth as physically possible, with no chunks of cheese, please, add in your hot macaroni, stir together for a little symphony. And finally, once it's all done, stir in 2 cloves of garlic, very finely chopped. Now keep that bad boy hot in order to serve. All right, the moment of truth. Sure, we got our biscuits, our mac and cheese, red beans and rice, but don't you think that I forgot about the chicken. First, the chicken dip, which you can use as a marinade, but honestly, you actually don't need to marinate it at all. First, you need a large bowl. Add in 2 cups or 475 milliliters of buttermilk, a 1/4 cup or 60 milliliters of dill pickle juice, 2½ teaspoons or 14 grams of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon or 5 grams of MSG, 2 teaspoons or 2 grams of paprika, 1 tablespoon or 9 grams of garlic powder, half a teaspoon or half a gram of onion powder, 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of your Creole seasoning of choice, a little splash of hot sauce. Whisk together. Now add in 2 chicken thighs, 2 drumsticks, and 2 wings. Oh wait, that's not 8. And 2 of whatever the hell else you want. You want more drumsticks? Cool, there you go. Look, the main thing is you want 8 pieces. Please just pick dark meat, okay? There's not much point to the breast here. Now once all of your chicken is saturated with your dip, get a separate large bowl and add in 3 cups or 450 grams of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons or 7 grams of MSG, half a teaspoon or half a gram of onion powder, 2½ teaspoons or 6 grams of garlic powder, half a teaspoon or half a gram of ground white pepper, 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of that same Creole seasoning you used earlier, and 1 tablespoon or 7 grams of kosher salt. Whisk together until thoroughly combined. You've seen chicken breaded before. You take the chicken from the wet, you add it to the dry, and you aggressively press the dry into it. Make sure that brother adheres, covering every little crevice. Take it out, shake off the excess flour, and guess what? Heat the oil to about 350 Fahrenheit, add in half of your breaded chicken, and you're obviously going to fry this into 2 separate batches. Now what will happen is that oil should drop to around 300 to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Listen carefully. This is an important element to frying great fried chicken. Hold the temperature around that 325 zone. Don't let it go back up to 350. It's going to get too dark. The goal is to get the chicken to cook all the way through to the bone while maintaining crispiness and without going too dark. Now once an internal temperature of 165 is reached and you have a crispy exterior, you pull it out, let it drain, and cool slightly. I think it's chicken time. Now let's see how we did.
Let's do this. You need to hear this. We actually managed to match what Popeyes tastes like, but this is cleaner. Mac and cheese, no competition. Red beans and rice. Smoky, rich, but the biscuits. I think these might be the best biscuits we've ever made on this channel. You see that? I'm calling us a winner, but let's do a taste test. Kendrick is up. It's been a while. Come on in, pal. You ready? Number 1. Number 2.
First one, obviously. God, that first one's way better. That honey, that's the key right there.
Number 1. Choo-choo.
It's a little gritty.
Can you do the gritty right here?
Oh my goodness! Choo-choo.
Well, holy sh**. That spice just kicks you right in the throat, and it's refreshing.
Mac and cheese time. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. This one I'm interested to see how this goes.
They're kind of similar. I'm gonna say number 2 on this one, because there's a lot more cheese.
Last is chicken. That's number 1.
I already know which one this is.
Number 2. Wow.
I'm sorry, Popeyes. I'm going with number 2. That was some good chicken, Josh. I say that as a person who's eaten chicken a lot. Take that however you want. You can find a little bit more of that salty, savory flavor, and the crunch. The crunch is what took it over.
How can you have fried chicken without crunch? That's not what you want. But you know what you do want? B-roll.